Good afternoon, and welcome to this. You need a bit of recovery. You might be feeling a little bit worse for wear today, not this morning. This is the right place to come. I said come back here yesterday because we've got Mike Maddog Angus, the hair of the Mad Dog, of course, and we are joined very last minute, I have to say, but I'm very pleased that she's here. Jesse, how are you as well? So we got a guest as well, Mike. You know, couldn't ask for anything more.
Wonderful stuff, mate. Yeah, got the hair of the Mad Dog out for you today because I literally just fell out of the shower, getting myself ready today to join you and run through WrestleMania. So, so you get to see the full Mad Dog sheep hair. Some people say I look like a Wish Bray Wyatt from back in the day with the old WrestleMania shirt, but we'll have to see. And it's wonderful to see my superstar pro wrestling, teammate there, Jess. Lovely to see you, Jess.
Do you know, we've never done one of these together.
Got that.
I know.
We've never done
it. I know. It's amazing. But I love your work, Jess. You do great stuff. I always enjoy your shows, so it's great to have you on board today. And what a night WrestleMania Night 1 was, guys. Did you have a great time?
I thoroughly
enjoyed it.
I was surprised.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with how good it was. It was one of the better manias. I was knackered. John's shattered.
Well, it went on forever, but we'll talk about that. Now, guys, don't forget to comment and give us your predictions and thoughts of what you thought about last night and also tonight as well. Don't forget. Coming up today, this isn't only Mike's double duty today because he's back on at 7 p.m. for added time, a wrestling crossover with football. So check that out. And the guys from Games and Graps are back with another pre-show tonight. I'm sure there'll be more old TV stuff going in there. There was last night as well. More talk about Heartbeat and London's Burning. So check that out as well. 9 p.m. I'll take a couple of comments right now. As a matter of fact, Rambo 77.619. Hi, Mad Dog. So I thought last I think I was meant to say night was epic overall. As a show, it was good. One thing I like most, when the thunderstorm hit, they did interviews. It came across better because they weren't scripted. That's a good point. I didn't think about that, but yeah, they wouldn't have pre-done any of that stuff. They wouldn't have known. I had to kind of call that off the fly. But I can't. To be honest with you, I'd have to go back and watch it again. But like maybe it did come out better. Did either of you guys notice that, or that it wasn't as scripted? Was it worse? Was it better?
I was asleep.
No. Oh, well,
you
was asleep.
I messaged you. Well, you must have seen messages really late. I messaged you at I set my alarm. I had a little nap. I do it every single time. Any pay-per-view, I have a little nap, and I'm like, all right, I'll get up in an hour. And then the show getting pushed back. I thought that means extra nap time. And then I didn't set my alarm, did I? And I literally woke up at 1, and I was like, oh, I missed half of the first match. Well, and then I woke up and you're like, then you'll turn around saying, oh, there's been a thunderstorm, don't know what's happening. And I'm thinking, what the hell have I missed? I've gone on Twitter and it's like, everyone's saying, oh, it's a big storm. And I'm like, I was asleep. I had nothing about it. So,
Mike,
did you notice any difference or nothing?
Yeah, nothing, you know what? I was there for all the fun of the first. So, obviously first sort of about 11 o'clock UK time, they started when the messages saying there was a thunderstorm warning and lightning. A few people in the stadium. I know one of the guys from True Heel Heat was there in the stadium watching.
Top guy JJ, he was drunk by all accounts, so he couldn't tell us anything.
And JJs are always drunk, aren't they? Aren't they on the Jack Daniels? And one of them was on the Terramana the other night when I tuned in.
He's always drinking. Every time they go live, he drinks. I don't know how he does it.
Party animal. That's what we like to see. Yeah. And so anyway, they thought they were concerned about it. They came out and Vince did his speech, which was great. We're here for WrestleMania.
Yeah, and Rambo's just put a thing about that. As a matter of fact, love that Vince come out and done the welcome.
I missed my boy.
Yeah, it was great. We were thinking that it was going to be Vince out first, or we were sort of thinking it was going to be Vince, or if it was going to be Hogan first. But then, they brought Hogan and Titus out as well as soon as they got started. But yeah, the rain did come down. They had to postpone the first bit of the show, so they put it back sort of half an hour, and that gave them a chance to sort of flip-flop between the different commentary teams, between the roundtable discussion crew and backstage. And, that's the time when you really step up and show what a superstar you can be. Some of them did it really well, and some of them didn't do it so much. But one thing I can guarantee is that the fans enjoyed it a lot more than any scripted promos that they're forced to deliver on the show. So, everything they were doing was organic. It was exciting. It was interesting. And I enjoy wrestling when it's produced like that, when they're on the seat of their pants. And I find that's what the sort of Attitude Era was. And the stuff they produced was insane, wasn't it? So, it just shows they can deliver. Kevin Owens with a great, promo. That was really good. Hi, Lewis, by the way, just joined us. And, KO nailed it. And I thought Rollins was the man who really stepped up to the plate, because I just thought his character absolutely suited the whole chaotic nature of such a thing happening. And just his bit of banter with so the guy here is actually called Kevin Egan, isn't he? The backstage, the new guy they've got. And for some reason, Seth just decides that he's going to be called Mike for the evening. And he's not really getting past that in the interview, which is brilliant. And he even goes to the point of saying, "Can we hyphenate it?" When Kev tells him that that's not his name, he's like, "Can we call you Mike, Kev?" It was like,
maybe
great stuff from Seth Rollins.
He thought it was Mike Adamley or something. You remember that guy?
Yeah,
He always just get everything wrong.
Hardly and all that. Yeah.
One thing I did notice on when it all went sort of like tits up for a little bit is that when they went, they cut from the guys. I think Corey and all the rest of it standing out there. You could hear, I don't know if it's because I had my headphones on, but I could hear one of them go, I'm going to go for a piss now quick before the camera comes back. The audio was still playing. So obviously it's going to be a lot of editing going on right now with, especially with Peacock. Blimey, they're not going to be happy with that. All right, let's get straight into it, I reckon, guys, because no point beating around the bush. Yeah, exactly. So let's better start now. Obviously, we've got some pictures here courtesy of the WWE Network, so give them a shout out. And obviously, to what you were alluding to what people were saying, there's Vince himself. I'm not sure if you missed that part. Just the only odd thing for me about that was the fact that they were all standing at the top of the rampway. I weren't a big fan of that, but it was cool to have Vince, but I didn't kind of like them all standing there. That makes sense. But other than that, it was cool. But yeah, them standing there like that just like took me out a little bit, because I thought, hang on, they're all going to be feuding later. Like Shane's out there, Braun's standing there. But there you go.
It's a bit annoying that they wore a lot of them wore the outfits that they wore.
Exactly. It's like the video game, isn't it?
It's a bit annoying, isn't it?
Show the gear off. I like the surprise of seeing the gear at WrestleMania, because everyone makes such an effort to get new gear. Yeah. So it spoiled it that they had to do the the promo segments and stuff in their gear that they were going to be wearing. So like you'd seen it already, so it spoiled this, that extra little thing. It's just a touch, but it's huge. Go on, Jess.
Luckily, I didn't see him because I was so I was the one person. It
was lucky for you, wasn't it?
I was like, the outfits, and people were like, "You've probably seen them before," but I'm like, no.
Nope. Nice new outfits.
Well, do you know what it reminds me of when they come out in all their gear like that all the time instead of like a proper suit or a tracksuit or whatever? It's I don't know if you remember when Bobby Lashley was in WWE last. They always presented him in his ring gear, and there was a time where he got injured, and he still turned up in his ring gear with pads on and all the rest of it, and cut a promo, and then just went home again. So it just reminded me of that, like the old video games on SmackDown where they didn't have anything else. But yeah, let's move on to the first. Actually, before that, we had, of course, Hogan and Titus O'Neil come out. These were the WrestleMania hosts. I've got to be honest with you. This was a little bit cheesy, and I don't know. I was kind of like, just get it over with already. It didn't really have the impact. A few reports coming out as well, even from our guy over in the States, that there was a bit of booing going on for Mr. Hogan. I don't know if you picked up on that, Mike, but it'll be interesting to see how they get round that later tonight, if they maybe change things. But I don't really get the whole thing with hosts. Jess, do you like having a WrestleMania host, or like this is such a new thing? But
yeah, anyone but Hulk Hogan.
Anyone but him. And who was the guy last year that got on my nerves? That one that was acting like a 13-year-old kid, Gronkowski. I Couldn't stand
Rob.
him, man. He was a nightmare.
Super Bowl winner Rob Gronkowski.
I suppose I can give him that back, really. But anyway, as we thought, Mike, on our pre-show, we thought this was going to be the first match, and that was Drew McIntyre going up against Bobby Lashley. And of course, everybody beforehand was saying, this is the time WWE, they're going to do it for Drew. They're going to let him win it in front of fans. And there was 25,000 fans. And no, that wasn't to be. And I'll start off with this one. I was quite happy. I was really happy that Bobby kept the title because, especially with all that cobblers that's been going on before it, with their Hurt Business breaking up so close to WrestleMania, I was worried for Bobby. But I think this is actually a smart move. But obviously, there was some shenanigans towards the end. I'll start with you first, Mike. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was great. The version of America the Beautiful before the show was great as well. And, just seeing Michael Cole and Samoa Joe in ponchos, was hilarious. A couple of promos cut before it just built up to it. It built the excitement even more. The fact there was a rain break after last year having the whole year off and then a rain break to start the show was just
I bet you couldn't believe it.
It just built it up even more. And for the fans in attendance, they all arrived, sat in the seats, started the show, and then had to dive off and leave. It's like, oh, well, you're not going to forget that in a hurry. It's a monumental thing to occur. Luckily, they got the show started, running about 40 minutes behind schedule. Hogan and Titus did what they had to do. Hulk didn't cause any chaos. He is a wrestling legend, but I think he's obviously caused problems for himself, saying stuff he shouldn't have said or whatever in the media. But WWE are back behind him, and he is like one of the most famous wrestlers of all time. So you've got to give him that. He did what he had to do. They did the introductions and everything. Drew and Lashley, I thought it was a great opening contest. Interestingly, John, we did predict the whole card in the correct order yesterday when we spoke about it, because we got to the card and said what we thought was going to happen. So we have actually booked WrestleMania correctly ourselves, which is a little.
We should be bookers, mate. We should be hired. We put that together, and they stole that idea from 2 o'clock yesterday.
I've got a feeling they might have watched us yesterday on Powered 4.
Of course they did.
Yeah, and they went with us. We knew what we were doing. We booked the show perfectly for them.
They thought,
and our predictions, they did, and they thought when we gave our predictions out, they've said, either McIntyre or Belair is going to win. So what we'll do is we'll switch their predictions round. So when we predicted that we thought McIntyre would win, they said, no, don't let the Maddog and John Scott have their day. We'll switch that around. And as soon as that happened, I then knew that, Bianca would have to go over in the main event. So I luckily changed my prediction just before the main event there for you. So, great opening contest. At one point, Drew, did a flip to the outside. It was crazy. Big, hard-hitting contest. Everyone got some stuff in, the crowd were really into it. The crowd were loud. There was 25,000 in there, I think it was. And then, you could hear them. And it was just great to have the crowd back. And, the guys didn't disappoint. And I think, I was happy with Lashley winning as well. As much as I'm a huge fan of Drew, I think that feud for me could continue still right up even until SummerSlam. I think it's got a lot of legs. And I think Bobby Lashley as a champ is deserved. Drew McIntyre as a champ, well deserved as well. So I think there's a lot more to go from that. And one last thing to put in as well. How cool was the set? That pirate ship was absolutely amazing, I thought.
Knew you was going to say something about that. There's no Paul Burchill, though.
Paul Burchill and Io Shirai may be there tonight. You just don't know.
All right, Jess, let me ask you before. Sorry, Mike, to cut you off there, but Jess, are you a fan of Drew McIntyre? Before we get into what you thought of the match, are you actually a fan of Drew or not?
I am a fan.
All right, but
I got bored of him being a champion. Got a bit bored. So when the title did change, I was so happy for Bobby Lashley. Like, so happy, because I've always been.
What about the Miz?
No, but honestly, I was so happy. And then last night, I jumped in the air. I was like, because I wanted it so much for him. Because you just think, he actually deserves it. He deserves that. And as much as I love Drew, but I got bored. Of it. The match overall was good. Obviously, I came in a little bit late. Oh, hold my hands up and say from my nap, but overall it was good, and I was so happy with the result. I didn't think Drew was going to take it back anyway. I knew they were going to have Bobby win it. So happy days.
Oh, you should have put a bet down, I reckon. They certainly didn't. But no, it was a decent opener. I was glad they put it on first as well. And I said yesterday, I think it's better that Drew chases rather than the catch, because it's always better sometimes to build and build and build. And perhaps towards SummerSlam, there'll be even more fans allowed back by then, and who knows. But yeah, no complaints from me there, to be honest with you, on that one. Sorry, I'm going way too ahead there. There's our man, Bobby, with the title there, with Mr. MVP, of course. So I want to check that. Just going to take a few comments before, otherwise I'm going to get lost. But our man Brett Thomas, the biggest Logan Paul fan I've ever known in my life, who never stops emailing this stuff into me in SP3. But we got Logamania, apparently. I hope he steals the show. And have him back in a match after he beats Floyd Mayweather later in the year. If he beats Floyd, who is the best boxer, he needs he's put Wii title, but I know what you mean. WWE title shot. Well, I suppose if he did beat the best pound for pound boxer who's not been beat, even though, yeah, he's even beat Big Show, hasn't he? So maybe that would make sense, Mike. Maybe Brett's onto something there. Maybe his dream will come true.
You have to fight Bad Bunny first, John.
Yeah, he probably will. But,
you got to beat Bad Bunny. He set the bar there.
Yeah, well, you have to tell him that now, I think, on that one. I'll leave that to you, Mike. He might come up to you on the added time now. You've just put yourself in it there, I reckon.
That's it. But no, right, yeah, not a problem.
It was a great match nonetheless. Really enjoyed it. Next up, we had, of course, the trying to find out where I am. What did we have next? Let me just try and I'm sifting through my notes.
The women's tag team frenzy was next, and there was all sorts going on in that. Obviously, those fell foul of that rain. We knew it had happened to somebody, because it's just bound to happen. But poor Mandy making her entrance in her new gear. Oh, felt so bad for her.
Jess, look at that innocent.
Do you know what I love? She's made a joke about it all over Twitter. She's made a joke, and I thought,
that's it. She was trending on Twitter, and then she bought into it as well, and excellent stuff. The photograph she shared today that somebody from the crowd sent her, where she's sort of almost horizontal in the air, was amazing. So yeah, I'm sure she saw the funny side in it. But did you
see her video with Titus? Did you see it on Twitter?
Yeah, where they were
when he comes to her, and you're right, it happens to the best of us, and I thought.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to check that out. That's brilliant. Cool that they did that. I think that's the best way to handle stuff like that, because back in the day, stuff used to happen. I remember Bill Goldberg fell over, and there was something with who was the great Japanese wrestler at WrestleMania 20? What was his name? Was it Ultimo Dragon? Oh my goodness! And he never lived that down, because we never saw him after. so these things can have an impact, but no, it's better that they handled it like that. This was the match I was kind of like a little bit worried about, because there was a lot of people. But you're right, Mike. I predicted these Natty winning, didn't I? I forgot about that.
Knew it.
What do you mean you knew it?
I knew it. I knew they were going to win.
Well, what did you think, Mr. Angus?
Yeah, you know what I thought. There were a few little mistakes in this one, but it's bound to happen on the biggest stage of all, But I thought, I personally thought, the storyline that made the most sense was Lana and Naomi winning. But obviously they were out first, and as soon as that happened, we knew it would be what John had suggested. But everyone had a good go. Mandy Rose after the slip, looked great. Dana Brooke delivered. And you could tell the ring ropes were slippy. They were being ultra careful, you could see. But they all looked after each other and put on a great show. The Riot Squad and the outfits them guys had got done were brilliant. Harley Quinn and the Joker. I always love it when there's some crossover with comic books and stuff. Big comic fan. So spotted that straight away. And they were great outfits. And you know, everyone put on a decent show. And at the end with Natty letting Tamina hit the Superfly splash, I thought that was great. And looking forward to seeing what happens tonight because, you know, Natty and Tamina have been around for the long run, both second generation wrestlers, daughter of Anvil and obviously the Superfly. So, you know, big stuff. And, you know, there's stories to be told there. And hopefully they get given, you know, some time tonight and get to put on a show and show us what they can do because, you know, I feel like both of them really have been, you know, I think John said it best yesterday when he said they sort of missed the revolution because they came in a little bit beforehand and never really got the, you know, the push that some of the others got at the, you know, because they were involved in that at the time. So, yeah, looking forward for them to show what they can do. And hopefully it'll be a good match tonight. So.
Fair enough. Jess, yeah, you say you predicted this, so you must be happy.
I knew they were going to have it. Do you know?
But,
you are.
Go on. I was going to say the match. What did you think?
Did you notice that on some parts of that match the screen was blacked out? Did you notice? Blacked
out, as in what? Our screen?
Like what, in the on background? The network. During that match, flickered a bit. That's because there was nip slips. There were nip slips, so they had to black it out.
Well, Mike, this is why we got someone like Jess on, isn't it? Because you would have been oblivious.
Wardrobe malfunction for us, Jess.
Dana Brooke showed a little bit too much last night, bless her. Do you know what it was? All their outfits, things, every single person in that match I actually really like separately. Obviously, Naomi and Lana, I would have loved them to win. But Natty and Tamina, they do deserve it. They do deserve a chance. Like, Tamina, I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan. She just doesn't get, like, the credit she deserves. And I did think for a minute, though, that Riot Squad may have taken it. It wasn't the most incredible match I've ever watched, but there had to be one that was a little bit not the best and quite funny to watch because I had a great time watching it because I just sat there like, I just died.
Enjoying somebody else's misery.
She went, I'm sorry. It's like, you know, when you see someone fall over and you can't help but laugh. I was honestly 5 minutes I was crying for.
I think this is your moment, isn't it, for WrestleMania? People will ask you, what was your moment of WrestleMania 37?
Just that.
Stacking it.
You know, like when Michael Jackson used to do that leaning thing.
Yeah. Smooth criminal.
Well, and I'm glad we've cleared up what was going on with the screens because I've got to be honest, I doubt me and Mike would have even picked up on anything like that. We would have probably said it's a technical fault. So I'm glad we got you here for that. Nonetheless, yeah, not the greatest matches, but then you can only do so much with that type of stipulation match. You're kind of like put in a bit of a position, but I do believe the right result. Next up, a match I was really looking forward to going in was Cesaro and Seth Rollins. I make no bones about it. I'm not a huge Seth Rollins fan, never really have been, but I'm a big Cesaro fan. So I was looking forward to this. Jess, what did you think first and foremost of this match? And was this something you was looking forward to?
This was probably the one. Well, obviously, as much as I was looking forward to the main event, this was another one I was so excited for because of Cesaro. Like, he is so underrated. He deserves everything. He's someone that also deserves everything. And I thought this could really, like, if this happens for him, this could be so good. It could give him that push because he is just like one person that deserves that push, and he could do that title run. He could smash that title run, and I really did think that, like, Seth was going to take that. I had this feeling they weren't even going to bother, and they just thought, do you know what? It's Seth. Let him take it. But when it started happening and it started building up, I thought, oh my God, Cesaro could have this. And I was literally sitting there like this, like, come on, Cesaro! And I jumped in the air and I was like, I was buzzing. But the entrances were a bit of a laugh as well. I felt so bad that it was raining because it was just like half was lit up in fire.
Yes, I noticed that.
And I felt so bad because I thought that would have looked so good.
Yeah.
Ruined it for him. I thought, damn it. But honestly, I was happy with the result. I was
kind of brave of them to light those things up with all the wind that must have been going around as well. But nonetheless, I think it would have looked pretty spectacular. They'll probably, you know what they'll do? They'll get Peacock on it and they'll make it. They'll edit round it. They'll stick that in. Don't worry. You'll see it there. Whether Seth experienced it's another thing, but it'll be on there. Mike, what did you think about the match? Because obviously we had high expectations of this. Did it pay off? It wasn't like ultimately like a half-hour type battle, but I think they had enough time to tell their story, and for me, the absolute right winner. And I hope second time around, by the way, because he did win the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial match many years ago when he was with Zeb Coulter, and then he went off with Heyman, and I thought he was going to get a big push, but nothing come of it, of course. So hoping that this is another second time around for him. But what was you making of it, my friend?
Yeah, brilliant. We said it was our match we were most looking forward to, and sort of wrestling match-wise, it absolutely delivered. It was great. The pyro, as you mentioned, was sort of half on, half off, but the fireworks all still worked, so that was a plus point. And Peacock can easily edit them couple of little sticks, lighting up easy. If 5 of them are lit, you can just copy and paste them other ones into place.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Please do.
Next time you see that, the whole place is going to be burning it down. So yeah, loving Seth's entrance and Cesaro's. Big match for Cesaro, and he absolutely delivered. There was a buckle bomb at one point, and I actually thought Cesaro might have picked up a bit of a knock, but it could have just been really good selling. And towards the end, that UFO was absolutely brilliant. The 23 swing as well. The crowd were so into it, and as you said, I think they might have lost a few minutes off the match that they originally were going to have, and it's still absolutely delivered and told the story. But with them running sort of half an hour, 40 minutes late, I think a few of the matches might have just been shaved slightly. But yeah, I think that was still absolutely brilliant. Cesaro got his moment. Seth, as we said, it didn't hurt Seth at all. He delivered a great promo before, brilliant entrance, was great in the match with the 360 change early on that move, and there was all sorts going on in there, and it didn't hurt him at all. That was a great match with Cesaro, and yet it gives Cesaro that rub going forward. He could take on whoever wins the SmackDown match. It'd be great, I think, in a feud with Roman Reigns, the current character he's playing. He'd be great going against Bobby Lashley if he came over to Raw. So there's so many options for them to use Cesaro in the future. And I'd personally like to see him take on anyone who's in that triple threat. Edge, Daniel Bryan, he's going to have a great match against any of those. So he's in a really good place coming out of Mania, looking strong, and it's well-deserved for the Swiss Superman. So brilliant stuff, and some great little highlights from that match, and to watch again today and stuff. So yeah, really well done to them, and definitely probably my favourite match of the night, I would say.
He'd be great playing Dizzy Dinosaurs. He'd be brilliant.
I'll make a note of that. I'll add that to his repertoire.
I ain't gonna even try it.
I missed a spot here before that. We had because people always say, "Why don't you talk about it?" Bailey interrupted the NWO. Now, when I was talking about earlier over scripted stuff, this came across a bit like that for me. I felt it was so uncomfortable for all of those guys when they were doing that. I mean, Bailey was in their element, but I felt like the other guys like Otis and Hogan and the NWO were just what on earth was going on? But yeah, they had a moment backstage. I guess that's what Bailey's doing this year for WrestleMania. That was her kind of moment. We also had Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode backstage as well, because they, it was all about being the ignored thing or whatever, and they were talking about the other tag team champions, which of course leads us on to our next match, the Raw Tag Team Championship between the New Day, who the most original thing about them is they're still together. Isn't that amazing? Out of all of this time, which I'm happy, against AJ Styles and Omos, and we said, like, Mike, did we get this one right as well? I couldn't remember who I said it, but I did say AJ. I take it. Yeah,
we called this one. We literally booked the whole match for them, and they did, but they nailed it. It was them who hit it out the park. So yeah, they did exactly what we expected. They did. Big E did the intros for them. It was brilliant to see the gang all back together. And what we said yesterday was we love that power of positivity that New Day bring, and they were on top form. Xavier Woods, shouting into the camera with all sorts of antics last night, and AJ and Omos one of my mates messaged. In fact, I think Wrestling Travel tweeted as well about Omos. They hoped he was going to wrestle in his turtleneck and his chain and everything. He pretty much did, which is the funniest thing. He just he said on commentary, he's a 7-foot man. He can wear whatever he wants, and they did exactly what we thought. Get AJ in the ring and cut off the ring, try and keep Omos out. But when he came in, he was booked to perfection. He looked strong. He looked really good, monster heel, and that is exactly using that piece of talent at how we should be. Made to look dominant, and exactly as we expected, they took the belts, and that made I think that didn't that give AJ Styles like a grand slam? Was that his first?
Yeah, that's his grand slam. So he's won all the belts now. Yeah, that's something off his list. For AJ. Yeah. For someone who we never thought was going to make it to WWE and was just going to be, that Impact and star and NJPW star, and we didn't think he was going to make it to come into WWE. A bit of a later stage in his career and still nail that and be, highlighted how he has been brilliant. So well deserved for the phenomenal one. And Omos looking good, and there's still potential to build that feud between them two and do the old Diesel Shawn Michaels. No, don't say stuff like that, Michael. Please, don't say stuff like that. Jess, what was your thoughts on this match? Are you Are you big on Omos as well? I tell you what, he's everything that Braun Strowman isn't at the moment, which is protected, isn't he? In that role, like a guy that height, that size, you want to be protected him, make him look strong, which is the opposite way around for someone else. But what did you think of the match, Jess? And was you happy? I
obviously love the New Day. So, and they put in some work last night. They really put in some work, and it's just the way they were winding it up, and I was like, I like this side. I love that New Day winding them up, and I thought, yeah, go on. And then obviously they were pretty much battering AJ Styles, and then he comes in. I was like, you fucks, see you later. Be nice knowing you. You might as well take 6 months off because you are gonna be flattened. And then he just stood there, 1, 2, 3. Bye-bye, everyone. See you later. I wasn't too happy with the result, but that's because I love the New Day and I'm biased. So, but
I don't know how many times they've won the tag belts. They must have won it a lot now, though, isn't it, Mike?
11,
is it 11? I mean, that's what I mean. Maybe they're going to rise another one up, I'm sure, at some point. But no, I was all right with it because to me, I just wanted to see AJ get that Grand Slam. So it was like, even if he just does it for a month, that's fine. Just to add his name to that list. No, probably not, sadly. But anyway, here comes a match that I really wasn't too looking forward to going into it, for all the reasons of protecting stars. Now, let's put this into some perspective, if we can, people, is the fact that last year Braun Strowman fought for what was it? Was it the Universal Championship or the WWE Champion? One of the two, against Bill Goldberg, who come across very dominant at the time, had beat the Fiend, was one of the only people to do it, and Braun won in a match that only had 5 moves, and 3 and 2 of them were the same within 3 minutes. So we're talking about Braun Strowman 1 year on, and he's now facing Shane McMahon in a cage match. And even, I have to say, even with that interference, when Elias come out and all the rest of it, I still couldn't believe Shane was getting in the shots he was getting in. It was okay, but I wasn't a massive fan of this. I think it only helped because there was a steel cage involved, and it kind of like was smoke and mirrors. But I don't know. I just think there could have been so much better to do than this match, like from the people we hadn't seen there that night. But that's easy to say in hindsight, but I wasn't a fan of this going into it either. Jess, I'll start with you on this one. Was you a fan of Braun Strowman against Mr. WrestleMania 2 in Shane McMahon?
See, I love
Shane. Are you a Shane-O fan?
My God,
yes.
that guy.
I know why I bothered asking.
I have such a weird crush on Shane McMahon. Like, I was watching you are such a thing. I don't know what it is.
It's his sneakers.
I don't know, but he sweats a bit too much for me. That's probably a little bit turn off for me. But right. I didn't have much.
He'd be well in with his dad, I tell you.
I weren't
be set up.
Thinking, I wouldn't have many expectations about this match. I thought, oh, here we go. But it was better than I thought it would be. It weren't going to be incredible. Like, in the nicest way, if it was Shane McMahon against someone else, I reckon it could have been all right. Like, because Shane just dives off wherever. Like, you can imagine, like, he just don't care. Like, his body just does not care. He just gets flown around like a bit of meat, and he just, it doesn't matter where he is. He just, I reckon he don't even walk down the stairs. He just dives down his stairs.
Yeah, every morning. Takes a risk.
It was all right. Like, I don't really know what they're doing with Strowman. I'm not sure. But I will say, and I put it on Twitter as well, that the entrance, Braun's entrance with the pirate ship looked really good. Like, he looked really quite cool. And I was like, oh, I like that. That was probably the best bit of the whole thing, actually. And then he I can't believe he even teared the steel cage. I was like, oh damn, like that's a lot going on. It wasn't too bad, but could have been better.
Well, fair enough. Mike, before I get to you, I just recall Braun did come on at the beginning of the kickoff when he had his moment. And what I loved about it is he kept referring to Shane as a bully, and he was going out to defend against all bullies in the world. And I thought, of all things about Shane McMahon, I wouldn't have put that on him, but there you go. He's a big, nasty bully, that Shane McMahon. He's terrible.
When he was doing his last little bit, did you hear what he was saying? This is for everyone out there that's been bullied.
I was off expecting to see SP3's favourite Nicholas show up or something with a cardboard cutout of thank you or something.
Don't ever let people get you down. I was like, Jesus, not the time, Strowman.
Mike, what did you think overall? Because was this a pass for you, or was this something you was cringing at, or was it all right?
The thing was, it wasn't too bad, was it? The story leading up to it, we hadn't enjoyed at all. The whole stupid thing and the trying to link it to the bullying, to try and get all the fans involved. If anyone's had any bullying issues in the past or whatever, to be on Strowman's side.
There's a better idea than that, I'll tell you.
It's a concept they've tried before with stuff, and if it worked for somebody and helped them through a tough time, then fair enough. But for me, it didn't really, it didn't sit well with me, them using that. That's what's Carnage Payne saying last night. I watched the movie for the first time since '99. Bloody lot changed, but it's brilliant for what they give you. Yeah, that's fair play. It was. I thought they did a great job last night, and Strowman's entrance was absolutely brilliant. That pyro and the smoke coming out towards the crowd, I thought that was great. It looked brilliant, and it showcased Strowman that bit specifically. What a star he could be. He's great physique. The sort of angles he's been put in are not the correct stories to make him a better wrestler, which is, where I think they're really missing a trick is the fact that he could be dominant. He could be the next, like Brock Lesnar character who, can't be defeated. But yet they do shove him out a bit too easily. And I don't know why they don't give him the credit he deserves, because he could be like the top star. And if they get the right sort of backing and story behind him, they could easily, make him into a big, a huge star. But I don't know why they're missing that really. We knew Riker and Elias would be involved in some way. They've been associated with Shane. And Shane, he put in his normal Shane O'Mac act with the speed, the little digs and everything. And Strowman really took a bit of a beating, didn't he? But it was the ending was great with Strowman ripping the side of the cage, and then the tossing him off the top there was a huge WrestleMania highlight. So that's going to be shown all around the world over and over again. So at the end of the day, from a match that really we didn't think had been built very well, they did deliver on WrestleMania Night 1. So good on them. And I just think there's so much more they could do with Braun Strowman though, and even Shane O'Mac could be used in a more interesting, exciting way. But they both needed to be on the show, and that's what they gave them, and they did the best they could with it. So good on them. It was it definitely got a pass from me anyway. And we predicted the result. So.
I'm waiting for Shane to be like a new member of Jackass. That's what I'm waiting for. He's like the newest member.
Johnny Knoxville then.
I reckon that's what they use him for sometimes. I think, do you know what Vince sits there and thinks? Because he doesn't really like his son anyway. Like, let's be real, he doesn't like Shane.
Doesn't like him.
Have you never seen the thing on Twitter? Have you ever seen the thing about his birthday? Have you ever seen it?
What is this?
So-
Where are we
Will be
going
too
with
happy birthday, and Vince is just
This a
happy
couple of years
birthday,
ago-
Shano.
a couple of years ago, he did this tweet on Shane's birthday, right? Which, compared to everyone else's, was so muggy. Like, it was really muggy. Like, everyone else gets, like, even like The Rock gets like a massive like paragraph from Vince. John Cena gets a massive thing. Charlotte, for every single like superstar gets this massive thing. Triple H gets this massive paragraph. You're a superstar. You're an inspiration. Shane McMahon got happy birthday, Shane. I thought.
Yeah, but maybe he got a good present. Maybe he got a better present than all them, you know.
Put that on Twitter, you just think, Jesus, do you not love him? Like, Stephanie got something wonderful, of course. I all get these lovely things, and you just think,
Get
I
this
reckon they
tweeted
call
to
him-
him, please. Somebody out there.
honestly, I reckon they call him in, they call Shane in and be like, look, you're going to have to jump off the stage tonight.
You're gonna have to prove your loyalty against Shane this year.
If you
I
want
gave
to
you the
sit at the head of
Undertaker the
table,
first
John,
year.
you better fall off the cliff. That is what they do. That's
Yeah.
exactly what
Well,
they do.
the thing is, they're going to run out of ideas soon. I tell you. Goodness knows what else they're going to do. He's had Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. He's had the Cage. He's had AJ Styles, pound for pound, the best wrestler. He's been in. What else is it? What did he do last time? I can't remember. Is that the only
Don't know.
matches he's had since his?
I thought they were going to let him go off the pirate ship. I thought that's what they were going to do. He stands at the top and just goes
Like a
like a
computer
Tom
game.
Daly and just
I think Kevin
Yeah.
Owens
Well,
is doing
I-
that tonight, isn't he?
probably.
Yeah, I think so. I said yesterday they should set up Triple H and Shane for a feud because there'd be loads of real angles they could use. Rich, the man at the top with us at Powered4s, says amazing to watch WWE with a crowd again, and should point that out. Really, it was the first time seeing people, that mass of people back. Was you surprised that they was like that far? Close to the ring? Because yesterday when we was talking, Mike, we thought they were going to do what they done at the NFL and have them in the stands, but they actually had them obviously on the pitch, which come quite close. Was you surprised with that, or because it looked better? That's for sure.
Well, no, I did expect them to be where they were, but what I did notice was that the ringside area was a lot further, like the barrier was a lot further away from the ring than it normally is. There was about an extra meter or two around the side, so I think where they were was fine, and the set layout and design looked spot on. The big screens to hide the gaps and everything worked really well. And obviously, part of the arena was obviously like tarped off for camera side and everything. But I just thought the way they had it set up was great, and there was still a lot of people sort of higher up in the stand, and then the top level was another big screen as well, which was a great idea, and it looked visually stunning. One funny thing to mention was when it was raining and the commentary team seats got soaked and they had to stand in front of the announcer's desk. I was watching that first match and I was like, why are they standing up in front of that? And then got on to the fact it was tipping it down still. But it was just so funny just to see them all standing there in the suits at ringside looking at
Big
the
umbrella.
Yeah.
I'm surprised someone stands out there with one. It's a shame Morrow wasn't there. Imagine how crazy he would have been standing. The most extravagant guy. Then we had the WWE Hall of Fame class come out. I was kind of really happy about this because I felt for the whole thing with the Hall of Fame not having anybody there in person. I know the screens are there, but come on, that is not the same as actually having people there like applause you and all the rest of it. So I was glad they got that moment and they all came out and got it. It was, it was a worthwhile thing doing. Sometimes when they do that, it's very much like they're going through the motion. I would expect they're going to have they're well done, Mike. I suspect they're going to have 2021's lot there tonight. For night 2 as well, but that was pretty cool. Obviously Hogan with the NWO as well coming out, so that was pretty good. Then it's the match Bad Bunny. This is what everybody's sort of coming out of talking about. Like, it's probably got the most attention on all the social medias, really, I would say, by far. Damian Priest. Obviously, this match was made into a tag match, as we said. It was one-on-one before. Made a much better decision doing it like this, because that way you got Morrison who and Miz that will sell like crazy and kind of make it look good. First off, Mike, what did you make of the crazy entrance that we saw and all the rest of it? Like, was you expecting something like that, or I guess you weren't surprised that they went that way?
After watching WWE for 30 plus years, I expect hundreds of rabbits to show up at WrestleMania. It's and Bad Bunny to come out on a truck. You know, nothing really surprises me anymore. It was
if only Diesel was driving it.
Stunning. That's it. That would he was there. So just checking the cart now. Was he in? Was he driving it? You know, meep, meep.
Yeah, we
He
should
went to
find
the
that.
driving it
way in the
wasn't the one,
drive-through.
wasn't
Can you imagine him being like, "Do you want anything, mate?" And he's like, "Yeah, can I have a hamburger, please?" Imagine.
Do they have to save a menu?
Yeah. You have to shout down at the drive-through. Can I have? Love it.
But it was guys, it was actually a great match. You know, we said yesterday, Bad Bunny's been training. We knew he'd been training. It all came down to how good he would be, and you know, everything he hit looked very smooth. I thought he looked a very good technical worker, and you know, he didn't do a huge amount, but what he did do was all very good. And Miz and Morrison did their part in it, and the only one I didn't see too much from Damian Priest really in this match, which I was expecting them to. I was expecting them to really push Priest and be like, you know, and then Bunny would dive in and do a little bit, but really Priest, I've kept coming out of it, the Priest hadn't really been showcased that well, and in fact, Bad Bunny came out looking $1,000,000, you know, which is great, you know, but you know, obviously, I'd like to have seen a bit more from Priest. But Bad Bunny, the Bunny Destroyer was insane. I wasn't expecting that on the outside, and John Morrison took that to perfection. And then it was as we predicted yesterday. They did exactly what we said, and I think a lot of the show was booked how you would have wanted it to be. You know, normally you come out. Last couple of Manias, I've come out thinking, oh, you know, I wish that hadn't happened. I wish that hadn't happened. But last night, you know, the whole show was. I was sort of thinking, oh, good. This is there's not really been anything hugely wrong with it, you know. So that, you know, it's a positive. I think they got everything pretty much right last night, and I hope, you know, I hope tonight's the same. But Bad Bunny came away, and he's probably the most talked about person on like Twitter today. He's definitely trending on Twitter, and you know, he absolutely delivered. So good on the fella, and you know, let's put him against Omos on Raw, and that's the end of him.
Right, come on then, Jess, because I know you're going to say lots here because you like this.
I have a few things to say. So I will admit, I went into this match right, and when I did my video the other day, I fully shit on this match. I was like, no, like the Miz and Morrison deserve better. Who the hell does Bad Bunny think he is? Bear in mind, I love Bad Bunny's music. All right, I'm not hating on the music because I love it. But I was really, really shitting on it. I was like, nah, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible. I was like, Damian Priest is going to do the whole thing. Like, I honestly thought Damian Priest would just, like, majority of other, like, matches that this has happened with, they've done, like, one thing, and that's it. Like, the celebrity has done one tiny thing, and the other person with them has taken over and done the whole match, basically. So that's what I thought Damian Priest was going to do. And then Bad Bunny started getting involved. I thought, hold on a minute. This guy, for his first wrestling match, is not doing a bad job. And it got more and more, and I was like, this dude has been really, like, training quite hard. And I was really shocked. Obviously, Miz and Morrison, they did a perfect job of just making it all, like, fit together and happen and selling it. And they helped push, you know, Bad Bunny to look incredible. Like, hats off to them. Damian Priest, I'd love to see him more because I absolutely think he's great. But Bad Bunny, I was impressed. I was really impressed. When he did that Destroyer, I was like, sorry. I even showed my mum this morning. I was like, Mum, you've got to see this. And I was explaining the whole thing. I was like, Mum, she was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't really care. And I was like, this is important. I was like, this does not happen for a random celebrity. Like, you couldn't imagine, like I don't know, when they had Donald Trump on that time, couldn't imagine him doing a Destroyer. So, yeah, Bad Bunny, hats off to him. I really enjoyed
a terrible comparison.
He's the one person I think
of. That one, Jess.
He's the one person that comes to my head when it comes to celebrities going on there. Because
everybody's, I was going to say, everybody's now saying that he's the best celebrity wrestler they've ever seen. I'd argue that against Pat McAfee, of all people, because he did one-on-one matches and no crowd, but like he did a lot more. Like, he was good. So I'd argue that a little bit, but he was better than I thought.
Even Amel was good, wasn't he, as well?
Who?
It was Stephen Amell, was that his name? The guy who was at
Oh,
Yeah.
as well.
Yes. Well, there's only one celebrity for me, mate. I tell you, and that's Andy Kaufman. That goes back to the 70s. But people on here ain't going to know that, so that's for another day.
Lawrence Taylor as well.
Lawrence Taylor, yeah. But it was good. You know, I mean, if you're talking about a non-sports person, because he is into music, then yeah, he gets the green light. He's obviously, the one thing I say about him, he's been there every week, so that makes a big change as well. He's not just come in and out to like promote and go away. He's obviously a big fan, so that does make a big difference. But yeah, overall, was pleasantly relieved and happy with what we got in the end. Didn't have any problems with it. Just a bit of a shame, like you guys said, about Damian Priest, because I don't know where he goes from here. But there you go. We'll see. And of course, next up we had the main event that had obviously been made official beforehand. The WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Sasha Banks going in, defending her title up against Bianca Belair. Jess, like we spoke about this ages ago, I think when this match was made after she'd won the Rumble, and you was really all about this match. You at the time said this has to be the main event of all main events. They had in this story, they dipped a little bit, I felt, with maybe there was just too many weeks to lead up to this damn thing and too many pay-per-views in between, but it kind of dipped. But I'll say one thing before I hand it over to you, is that I really enjoyed the promo package. Whoever put that together, kudos to them, because they did a great job. They made it look like $1 million, and they made them both look like absolute stars. Which, you know, it takes a lot, because let's be honest, Sasha Banks, they made it look like she's been at the top forever, when we kind of know she hasn't, and there's been times where they've not known what to do with her, but I felt they've done really well. I'll hand it over to you, Jess, as you was a massive fan, but what did you make of the match, and how good was it on the big scheme of things?
I, in the nicest way, expected a little bit more.
Oh,
I was really, 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 really expecting massive things from this match. Like, I was really expecting some really, really good stuff. Obviously, I'm a fan of both the ladies, especially Bianca Belair. Like, I think she's just an absolute star. And like I said before, both of them are incredible in the ring. Their characters are insane. They are absolute superstars. Like, it's not even like one of their characters is better than the other. They are like top tier ladies. Like, they are top tier. So I really thought this is going to be freaking insane, like insane. So obviously they came out and they do the bit, and I was like clapping, because I was like, the outfits, obviously I hadn't seen them before, so I was like, yes, here for it, here for the outfits. And obviously then they got emotional. I was like, this is history.
No, I didn't want to see that stuff at the beginning. This was not an X Factor moment. No, you know, you see this all the time from.
Like, as soon as they started tearing up, and they were saying, "Oh, is she going to be able to do it in the ring?" I was like, getting a bit emotional. It was a bit emotional, right? It was making history. It was massive. It was a massive thing. The match obviously went on. Both of them did put in some work. They did it, and then we had the whip, and I was like,
"What Lewis has just alluded to here, yeah."
Oh,
that was harsh. Yeah, that sounded like that. Honestly, bloody hurt.
That hurt me, and I was not even there. And that I was like, I felt sick, because I was like,
There's no leg slapping either.
No, and that was a full on, and I was like, Sasha, like, oh, and then you saw the massive gash on her side, and I was like, she ain't messing about. But what I was like the whole time watching that match, and I thought to myself, Bianca, you have some long hair. Use it. And I was going, use the hair for ages. You were like tying her around, like, you know, she was getting tied to the ropes, and I just thought, use the damn hair, use it. And then she just went, and I was like, oh damn, she used the hair, and that hurt me. That hurt my soul. But so, you know, her winning, her dad like nearly jumped over the barrier bit. If you saw it, it was brilliant. He like jumped over it. The crowd was going mental. And I saw like this little clip today on Twitter of obviously Sasha at the end. She sat there, obviously probably in pain with her side, and she was looking up at the ring and looking at Bianca, and she was smiling. I thought, do you know what? That's cute. That's really nice. But I feel like, you know, she really deserved that title win. Really deserved it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. I'm ready for the reign. I love her. Great.
Fair enough. What about for you, Michael?
Yeah, I thought it was a great match. The build to it had been good. Obviously, the Royal Rumble was a long time ago, and you know, she took a couple of weeks to decide who she was going to face, which I think was just to buy them a bit more time, because I think they knew straight away what they were going to do, really. And yeah, it just took a little bit of time to get to it. And you know, when they did, I thought they absolutely delivered with the match. I think you know, it was one of the more entertaining ladies matches. I felt like you know, I'm not sure if they had quite as much time as I'd expected. I think it was a little bit shorter, but obviously they were probably pushed for time coming towards the end of the show. I thought Bianca, some of the stuff they did with her was great. When she caught her on the outside and you know, reversed that and then carried her back into the ring. What a show of strength that was. And you know, the offense, some of the offense by Sasha as well, where she you know, tied her up with her own hair and stuff like that, was very innovative. And you know, the kiss of death at the end was great, and that, you know, it was just a great ending to the night. I think it was if Drew didn't win, I definitely thought Bianca would win in the main, you know, to give that sort of happy send off going into night 2. And I think it made complete sense. It just rounded off the night really well. It was an iconic moment having the two of them involved in that match, and I think I can't see many people having many complaints about it, to be honest. What's Nick put? Match was amazing. Press on spot was unreal. And that width, though, yeah, I agree, Nick. I think it was, I think it was great and good ending to night 1 for sure. Makes me look forward to watching night 2 tonight. I've got the old WrestleMania shirt on, ready to go, so I'm ready to start partying now for tonight.
Fair enough. Yeah, I thought it was a great main event. Really good, actually, and for, you know, the females to finally, because that, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was better than the triple threat between Charlotte, Ronda and Becky, because don't forget it, that would have been good had they got enough time, but they ran out of time, and then the ending got like they had to change it about and it made no sense. You know, all the fans couldn't work out what was going on, so I felt in that regard this was a much better bell-to-bell storytelling. But again, it comes down to that one-on-one. I'm not a huge fan of the triple threat. I'll wait and see what I think about later, but yeah, I'm not a massive thing of that. Just a quick question here. Which match were you disappointed with the result from last night and why? I don't think there was a result I was disappointed with, to be honest with you. I think I was happy with all of them. I suppose the only one I'd take back is maybe I'll give Damian Priest the cover. Maybe I'd let him pin in the match just to give him something, you know. Maybe he could. Maybe he'll turn up in Bad Bunny's new music video. Maybe that's the agreement, you know. Help me out.
Maybe he'll take out Bad Bunny on Raw.
Damian Priest is a new rap album. Wait for it.
Exactly. That's what we might see. Another good. Here's Max Green, good friend of the shows. Bad Bunny was insane. I spoke to John. I was before. Yeah, I think you're right, mate. Yeah, it certainly proved me wrong in that sense, but that's good when things like that. So overall, night 1, I was very satisfied. I don't really think, like, for half a show, it's pretty decent and much easier to watch in 3 hours. I know it went over because of the rain, so it went on a bit more, but overall, I was quite happy. Was you happy overall, Jess, with the show? And
I was surprised. I was surprised. I don't know. I didn't have incredible expectations this year, but last night I thought, you know, I usually don't really stay up. Well, I do sometimes, but Sundays I don't really stay up because I've worked the next day. But I'm thinking, you know what? After last night, I think night 2, I could stay up. Maybe a little bit
your
longer.
employers ain't watching this.
Honestly, when was it? I think it was Royal Rumble. I went in the next day, and bearing in mind I had 2 hours sleep, and I come in and everyone was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. I am feeling really rubbish." I was like, "Oh, are you not feeling well?" And I was like, "No, just the Royal Rumble took a lot out of me." They were like, "The Royal Rumble." I was like, "Yes." It's a serious thing.
Yeah, I bet that went down well.
The thing is, all of them watch it, or they used to watch it. A lot of the guys at work, they used to watch it, so they get the feel. They understand. And there's me like, at my desk, like dying. Honestly, I felt awful. But yeah, it's a fun, isn't it? Once a year.
Exactly. Well, it has to come almost a whole week if you're going to watch takeovers and all the rest of it. But Michael, what about for you overall? Is you satisfied with the first night? And has this put more pressure for tonight now that they've got to deliver? Because remember last year we come out and we was all happy because we'd seen that Boneyard match and we was all going into the second. And the only thing I enjoyed about the second night was the Firefly Funhouse match, which really wasn't a match anyway. But are we putting a lot? Is there going to be more expectation for tonight now, given what we saw last night, or because people, no matter, especially wrestling fans, they love to have one has to be better than the other. Can't enjoy both. You've got to like one or the other. So, what about for you last night, Mike? Overall,
yeah. One thing is my workmates never know if I've been watching it because I'm just like this all the time. It doesn't change for me. I don't need sleep. So I'm just a party animal. So. Doesn't bother me at all. So I think that tonight it has got the potential to be just as good as last night. And I think they did so well with the booking of it. The ordering of the matches was what we predicted, John, which was, I think that was how I would have booked the show, and that's how they did. So, yeah, I'm happy with it. And, the only result
we practically booked.
Yeah, so the only thing that I wasn't, if they put Drew over as well, it might have been a bit of overkill on like positive results, if you know what I mean. There's got to be something to lead on to another storyline and lead into something else. So I think they have to do that bit. So you can't have everything that you want from a show. After okay, hon. After love, you're a love. Saying his Ramaclava there.
You okay, hon? Eh?
That's it. He likes to see me in me smart gear. He doesn't like to see me in my WrestleMania shirt, but I know you requested this one, John.
You're letting down your standards there, Mike. You had a bow tie on Powered4s be free.
That's it. Yeah, I'll be back in the bow tie this evening for the WrestleMania added time special. But it's the hair of the Mad Dog. You've got to let your hair down and enjoy yourself after WrestleMania.
I did tell him to wear that t-shirt.
I've had my sausage butty. I'm back on track now, ready to go.
But, the small luxuries in life.
That's it, mate. Exactly. I had me 5 guys yesterday, me Doritos. So.
Oh, I saw that, and you did very well, I believe, as well. You did well in the Grand National, I hear. Well done.
Yeah, my horse that I picked won the Grand National. And I have to thank my granddad for that. He's been watching Cheltenham and said, Rachel Blackmore, all their horses had won in the Cheltenham the week before, hadn't it? So he said, whoever should ride and get on that big money. And it was my lucky number as well, 35. I always go on that on the roulette. So 35 was getting bet on whatever happened. So yeah, that was a surefire bet for me. So yeah, but it didn't win that much money really from it. Covered me bets like. But
it made you happy enough to post it. So I mean that's it. And did your lad manage to stay up for the whole thing, or did he fall asleep at all? Or?
Yeah, he stayed up till he was watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer till about 10, and then he's like, I'm gonna have a little nap for a couple of hours. So we had a little nap, and then he wanted me to cook these. I had these garlic chicken things that I was going to cook for him, so I cooked them, had them already, woke him up, and he got up at about 5 to 1, and at about 5 past 1, after eating none of the chicken, he said, "Oh, I can't." When they saw the rain break, he's like, "I'm going back to sleep."
Fair enough. Well, he's had a better Sunday morning, I bet.
That's it. Well, he saw the national anthem and he saw Vince, and that was enough for him. And he did say that he said Vince looked like one of the baddies out of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I thought that was a cracking comment.
Blimey. Yeah, there you go. Well, guys, we are just going to take a quick break, and then we are going to quickly give our predictions on tonight's events that everybody's going to be talking about. So we'll be straight back after this.
Jockeying for position. Neither man wants to give an inch, but something's got to give at some point.
Up and over goes Pac.
All right, there you go. TNT Extreme Wrestling. Don't forget, guys, you can sign up using the code Showcase, and just for this weekend only, 90% off Powered4.tv, home of over 25 wrestling promotions with all the media included. So check that out. Of course, you'll see the likes of Mike, Maddog, Angus doing the ring announcing. And very shortly, we hope Superstar Pro Wrestling with both Mike and Jess being involved in that as well, which will be really good. And we hope to have dates coming in as soon as possible. And also, don't forget, later coming up, we're going to have added time football special. Mike Angus is going to be there. I'll probably be there with, you know, a disappointed look on my face because Tottenham wouldn't have done anything today against Man United, nonetheless. And at 9 p.m, Games and Graps are back for another pre-show of wrestling. I say wrestling, but it's always takes another weird view into old TV shows. But yeah, check those out. So let's get into the predictions then for tonight. And it's actually, like, when I was looking at the matches, it's quite many good matches to come, to be fair. So we'll start with this one. This got made, obviously, yesterday. We spoke a bit about this. Who you got, Jess?
I think that Natty and Tamina are going to take the titles.
Oh,
I want it to happen. I really want it to happen.
You want it to happen. What does your head say, though?
I do think it's going to happen. I really do.
Okay.
I'd like it just because. I'm a fan of Tamina, all right? Big fan of Tamina. Big Tam, love her. She's great. But
Mike?
Yeah, that one's a tough one to call. It could go either way. They could go with having Natty and Tamina getting like a really good WrestleMania moment. They could even split Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler up because they were a bit of an odd couple to start with, and but things have progressed for them. I think Shayna's going to be the difference maker because I think it depends how much they want to push her and have a legitimate fight style come out in that match. So it could be one of them where she just sort of finishes them both off. But, is Reginald going to be involved in that one as well, guys? Is he going to be, is that going to play a part in that at all?
Bless him.
I think if he's being advertised as being part of the match, he's going to be doing some Cirque du Soleil specials. I think
he's jumping off the pirate ship.
Anyone could tonight.
Him and Kevin Owens. Circus, like, oh my god, it'd be so
well, I'm gonna say they're gonna retain their titles tonight.
I'm gonna go with retain as well. Actually, I'm gonna go with
when
retain
I say retaining, that might mean that Natty wins, but they just don't win the title. They get DQ or something. Question for you here, Jess: are you a model? You should be. Great show. Thanks, Rambo. I'll let you answer that.
I'm 25, but I'm retiring from modelling. How sad is that?
Cool. Blimey, that makes me feel old.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll write that career off then, I think.
I retired at 18 from my modelling career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
I think I'm with you there, Mike. I think I'm with you. Okay.
Started on the pizza diet and all you can drink, £10 all you can drink nights at uni. That was it for me.
£1.50 student nights.
Here we go. Not Matt anymore. It's just Riddle up against Sheamus in this match, and yeah, kind of completely forgot about this until I just pulled it up. But this is happening. What are your thoughts going into this? Jess doesn't look too happy. Mike, I'll start with you. Riddle, not Matt anymore, as I said before, but the bro, the man who cuts the RVD-like character all over again here. But what's your feelings on this one?
You know what? I've not been a fan really of him or how he's been booked. The thing where he forgot his lines the other week was pretty funny, like with Asuka. But I think
That's why I don't have them.
I thought right up until last night, I did this the other day and went through who I thought was going to win and everything, and I've got Riddle to retain. But then I saw that package they made of Sheamus last night, where he was crying and how much it means to him, and I could see them giving him the title here and giving him a bit of a night. So I'm sort of torn over this one as well. I'm going to go with, just because I wrote it down first, that Riddle will retain. But then that package has sort of got me thinking it could go the other way as well.
You can change your mind, Mike.
No, I'm going to stick with it. Let's stick with it. But that package did get me thinking. When they do something like that, normally it, like with Bianca Belair's, Chronicles led to this whole run. That little package for Sheamus makes me think they're invested in him more. But there could be something else down the line yet. I'm going to say Riddle to retain because he needs a big moment to spark his career, really. So yeah, sticking with it.
Jess,
this is going to be my pee break match. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be. I have fully been writing this match off, just because I don't like Matt Riddle anymore, because I think he's not a nice person. So it kind of kills the Sheamus deserves the world. Like, if he can take that title, I will hurry up my Wii and I'll have my foam finger out if he wins, and I will be waving it in the air.
The broad kick comes out, yeah.
Honestly, I'd love him to win it, just so Riddle can go a bit further down back in the roster. Bye. We don't like him.
She's not a fan. She's not a fan. Well, I'm gonna go with Sheamus winning the title on this one. And I believe that they're building him for that. For Riddle, I don't know what this does and says for him because, again, WWE, they don't really know how to use him properly in the get-go. Even in NXT, they didn't really know what they had. And I'm not seeing any reason to believe that, you think about Nakamura not even being on the cards. I just think he's going to get put into that category where it just falls into that mid-card aim, which is a shame. But Sheamus, on the other hand, I think this is the return for him a little bit, and he looks like he could be at the top again. If they wanted to, they could with Sheamus. I truly believe that. So I'll go for Sheamus in that one. Up next, this is our man Brett Thomas's match, and I'm afraid I haven't got Logan Paul on the imagery there, Brett. So it's a little bit disappointing for you, I'm sure. But Sami Zayn, who introduced Logan Paul a couple of weeks ago, and I couldn't believe it because I've been writing it off all this time, and then there he was, is going to be involved, and obviously up against Kevin Owens. Obviously, both these guys know each other very well. They're friends and all the rest of it. They've been tag team partners. I love that, Mike. We need more of that, of course, with the dancing. The feud is a bit wacky, but I do enjoy Sami Zayn on the mic. Like, for a guy that used to wrestle under a mask, he's by far one of the best talkers, and I don't believe they can overproduce him. I reckon he gets a little bit of leeway, which is good. But he's excellent. He's embraced what he's done there, and it's been quite good. What about the match then? I'll start with you first, Mike. What are you thinking about this? And is this got potential for like we thought about Cesaro and Seth the night before? Has this got potential to be like a dark horse in terms of a big match, or do you think the whole Logan Paul effect is going to spoil it a little bit? Sorry, Brett. Before he comes on and
I think the history between these two is massive. They've wrestled together for a long time. They've had big feuds right through their career, and I think Kevin Owens can turn up at any time. That match he had with Roman Reigns was at the Royal Rumble was brilliant, apart from a little bit of a botch at the end with the handcuffs. But it just shows he can deliver on the biggest of stages. And Sami Zayn, I don't feel, I feel like he has been held back a little bit. He's had a couple of little injury worries and stuff. But I do think there's so much more to come from him. And this whole storyline with how he's being held down and everything could really be leading somewhere. And if he gets a big win tonight over Kevin Owens, it would certainly further the feud and the storyline. So I'm going to go for Sami Zayn in this one. I think he deserves a win, and he has worked hard, and he is a great wrestler. And as much as I love KO, I think this has got the potential to be a great match, especially if they end up going into the crowd. Or, well, they probably won't go into the crowd, but they could go into the pirate ship and have him jump off the pirate ship. But then I think if Sami Zayn pulls out the win, it'd be it could be a great moment for everybody, and a good memorable match. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. And I do think Logan Paul will interject in some way, and he'll probably take a stunner. So
yeah, Jess, are you a Logan Paul fan?
Yep.
Should ask this. You are.
Yep.
Are you joking there, or are you being serious?
I
You're
used
being serious.
to hate him. No, I'm serious. I am serious. I used to hate Logan Paul.
Okay. I've not met anybody. This is good for us because I don't know anybody that knows about Logan. I know his brother, Jake.
I watch all his stuff. I watch all Logan Paul stuff. I used to hate him, obviously, because he did some things that are a little bit stupid, don't get me wrong, but he kind of obviously when he started doing his podcast, I watch his podcast every week. So when he started doing that, and he kind of, I don't know, he grew up and he kind of changed quite a bit and just developed into kind of like a different person. So I was like, do you know what? He's not that bad of a dude, and he's a lot better than I thought he would be. So when I saw he was potentially getting involved in WWE, I was buzzing because I was like, oh my god, this is like my two worlds colliding. I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, Logan Paul's coming. Oh no, I'm really excited. I just really like him. I think he's great. And as soon as it all got announced, so he's really, really getting involved, I thought, so he's basically gonna kind of ruin the match and help Sami win. That's what's happening. He's gonna sabotage. Kevin Owens is not jumping off that pirate ship. He's getting pushed by Logan Paul.
Well, there's a moment for you. And Brett Thomas, there he is on cue.
Exactly. Yeah, Logan Paul.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Welcome.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it because I think it will be a good match because Kevin Owens is an absolute key. But I'm here for Logan Paul, not gonna lie.
Let me ask you just a quick question, Logan Paul, because I don't know what he does off on the side. But when we're seeing him on WWE, is that the best version? Because I say that because when Tyson Fury come in, I know Tyson Fury really well in the boxing, but I felt when he came in WWE, he looked awkward and he was terrible. And yet this is a guy who could sell you $1 million for a boxing fight. But when they had him in WWE, it looked crappy. But is this a good version of Logan Paul, or is this just WWE's version?
I don't think he's come across quite bad or anything. He honestly, he used to be horrid. I can't stand his brother. I can't stand his brother.
Well, his brother's the one that's actually doing boxing properly. Logan Paul did have a fight. He had a fight with KSI, who was another YouTuber from this country, and lost as well, I believe.
The first time he didn't. The second time he lost.
Okay. And now there's potential, unbelievably, to do a fight with Floyd Mayweather, which would make a lot of money. Well, yeah, it's going to make a lot of money because he's got all the internet followers, and Floyd's just sells whatever. So, yeah, maybe there's potential. Well. I've got a feeling this ain't going to be the last time we're going to see him. That's what I'm thinking right now. But there you go. So I'm going to say Sami Zayn in this one is going to get the victory for me. I'm going to go for Sami. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to get pushed Kevin Owens or whatever, but I'm going to go for Sami Zayn. Next up, we've got Asuka up against Rhea Ripley for the title there. Obviously, this has been changed about a bit in the time, but most fans are quite happy Rhea Ripley's involved. I'll start with you, Jess. What do you think about this match? And obviously, I suppose if we were comparing both women's, there was only one clear-cut big women's match, but this is not far behind, I would say. But the only issue is they just haven't had, because they've had to put this together very quickly, they haven't had as much build towards it. It seems like it's lacking that importance a little bit.
I feel a bit bad, really, because both of these ladies are absolutely unreal, unreal. And I think what does actually bother me about the company now is that, when someone is coming to the roster, from NXT, They don't surprise it anymore. They like build it up, like, oh, they're coming. That annoys me because I'd prefer a surprise, like surprise, they're here. That'd be great. But there's as much as I want this match to be amazing, right? I want it to be so amazing, but I am really worried that after last night, tonight is going to completely get overshadowed, like completely. Like it's just going to be like, the women are there. I feel like that's all that's going to happen. I think Rhea's going to win. Which for me, if like Bianca and Rhea are then both champions, that is a dream come true. Like that's both of the two people like in the last Royal Rumble, like the last two. That was going to happen. That'd be incredible. But yeah, I'm worried about tonight. I'm worried that it's not going to be as amazing as I'd hoped it would be, as I know it could be. That makes sense.
Absolutely. And who you got for a win though? Come on, you're not getting out of this. Who have you got for the win? Who have you got for the win?
Rhea.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. Mike, what do you reckon of this match? I got a feeling if we're playing booking again, they should put this on at the start, like they did with the males yesterday. Reverse it. This should be the first match because most people are going to be more into it. And I think if this gets left to the middle of the card, it's going to be a bit harder to get people invested. But if they do it straight off the bat, like they did yesterday with Drew, that might work better.
Yeah, they've got that big musical performance, haven't they, for Rhea's entrance as well? So it could make sense to have that first to open the show, which could be quite cool. I think if it is at the beginning of the show to set up a really good start, Rhea could go over. I thought they looked, her and Bianca both look brilliant in the Rumble, and I think she's a great wrestler and well deserving of it. I think if it gets pushed back to later on the show, the chances of Asuka retaining are higher because I just think that would be, the way the show would flow. So I think it's all going to depend about where on the card it goes and how they want to set the show off going. I think if that opens the show, Rhea Ripley will go over. But I think if it goes on later on in the show, Asuka will retain.
Mike.
That's my booking decision today.
Right, Vince.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's who we are now. That's where we're in. So, put that one on first. Here's another interesting bout. Apollo Crews. I mean, what a weird stipulation this is as well. I have no idea what this is all about, and I'm sure someone will shed some light. But Big E, it's good to see him in singles action. All the New Day getting an outing at this year's WrestleMania, and want to also encourage people to go over on our YouTube. We did a good press call with him recently where he talks about when he first came into the WWE and why he enjoyed being in the New Day in the end. But this one, Mike, I'll start with you. Who you got your money on? And is this a match we're interested in enough? Have they done enough here for this? I mean, I suppose it's like you can't have every match being a main event. You do need to have like that mid-card tier, but people these days expect everybody to be doing something and headlining, but you have to have these people in these spots. But what about for you, Mike? Where does this match sit with you, buddy?
I think this one will be another great one. I've seen Apollo Crews for a long time. He used to wrestle at PCW in the UK, so I saw him wrestle there loads of times. Great guy, great wrestler, and to see how he's worked his way up the roster, I've been very sort of proud watching him, after seeing him wrestle in the UK so much. And Big E is a guy who I think should be right up at the top of the card now. I think with his break from the New Day, I can see him pushing on to becoming, like a main eventer. And I thought that ever since I saw him training with John Cena back in the day when he was, when he was deadlifting ridiculous amounts of weight and stuff. I just thought that he was a great talent. And when he came through with Ziggler, and did the 5 count thing and all that sort of stuff, I think he's a character who could have so much more development on the roster. I'm glad they've got thrown in together. I think Apollo could have won the Intercontinental title before he even had this whole change of character thing. There was a couple of matches where I thought, the title's changing hands on SmackDown, sort of February time. I do think the title will change hands tonight. I think Apollo deserves it, and I think it makes sense to do it. Both proud, the story going in is they're both very proud men, and that they're going to have a fight. And he's dropped the steel steps on him the other week and all that. I don't really know. They didn't mention anything about what are they calling it? Was it a Nigerian drums match or something? Did they call it?
I've never
what I
heard of it.
heard?
It's like the whole Punjabi prison match. You know, nobody knew a bloody thing, but they said
But
this
then
is historic, even though it never even happened. But
there was
yeah,
no mention
I
of
don't
it
know how it's going to
last
work.
night when they spoke of it, though. Was there? They didn't mention it last night, so maybe they've dropped that stipulation. I don't really know. I doubt they have,
I
but
don't know.
maybe they have. I don't think it needs any sort of stipulation. I think just the two of them will have a great match. If there is a stipulation added, hopefully it'll help Apollo and will help the story some way to expand the story further. Because what they've got going on between the two of them is very good. They're both great wrestlers, both very entertaining. And it could steal the show tonight as well. Another match that could steal the show. So you've got a few really good matches on tonight as well. So I think it'll be exciting anyway. And I just hope I hope nothing spoils it for us, especially weather. We don't need another storm tonight. Let's have a bit of
I'm sure
nice weather
people are
tonight.
keeping an eye on that. Jess, who have you got for this match?
I don't know. So this, when I saw everything being announced, I was a little bit confused. Obviously, when Cruz come back and he had this whole new character, I was a little bit like, did I miss something here? Like, what on earth did I miss? But Big E, like I'm a big fan. Like, you know me, I absolutely love Big E. I think he's great, and I've obviously always really liked Apollo Crews. And I thought this could be a good match if they do it correctly. Like, it's another one I don't want it to be like completely buried under all the rest of them, because there are some big matches like tonight, really, and I don't want it to be buried, because I think that these two do deserve like a really good opportunity to put on a match, show the crowds what they can actually do, because in the nicest way, Apollo Crews doesn't really get that. He doesn't really get that opportunity to do it. Like, he's someone that, he's in a tag team, or, he's just there. And like, I know it sounds nasty, but it's true. And, Big E is obviously, I really thought, I thought he was going to win the whole Rumble. That's what I really thought. And, there's a point where I thought, he was going to get that big push. So I am hoping at this match, they will put on a really, really good match, and everyone will be like, let's look at these two a bit more. Let's not look at all the others. Let's look a little bit more into that. But I reckon Big E will keep it, which I'll be fine. I'm happy with either of them winning.
Yeah, but you got to pick someone. That's the point of our predictions.
I like them both.
I've never heard of that answer. Well, I'm going to say Big E wins tonight. That's what I'm going to say. Big E's winning tonight. There you go. See, I'm not sitting on the fence like somebody else. Next, then. So, talking of stipulations and weird matches, I thought we were going to get one for this. There's been nothing announced, which I'm a bit worried about, because I don't know what to expect with this, because last year we had a Firefly. Now, if they did something like that, I think it'd be pretty cool, because you could see Randy going backwards in his Evolution days, and remember Randy on what was that RNN gimmick he had for a while as well, and go back and see all his missteps and do what he done to John Cena. But it doesn't look like they're going to go that way. We should make note they have wrestled before. I thought it was a crap match, because they had all the lighting, and it was going onto the canvas, and there was worms and all the rest of it, and Randy looked like he was petrified for some unknown reason, even though everyone in the arena, including us at home watching it, could be like, it's just coming from up there, mate, don't worry about it. But he was scared, petrified. So it's hard with Randy's character, because Randy Orton comes across like a man, but then he's like acting like a goofball sometimes around this whole Alexa stuff. I mean, so yeah, they're having a second time round. Obviously, just from the image here alone, I mean, what are we getting into here? I do not know. But you can buy this, by the way, as well. You can buy this on WWE's shop. As soon as he debuted, I got a bloody email through, didn't I? You can buy it. I thought that's bloody brilliant. That is excellent. So that they're always on board with these changes, aren't they? Mike, I'll start with you, my friend. What should we expect? What would you like to see, and who wins?
Well, it's got the potential to go to so many different places. The stuff they've done with Alexa, with the things falling on Randy and stuff like that. There's so many different sort of gimmicks they could do with this that could be memorable. or they could just go and have a straight up wrestling match. But I doubt that's the way they're going to go.
That would be odd.
What you don't want to do is harm Randy Orton's status as being, a great wrestler. I think potentially they've not done any sort of cinematic stuff this year. It has got the potential to be a cinematic style thing, and I don't necessarily think that's going to harm it if they did do that. Yeah. So, I'm tempted to say that Bray Wyatt needs to win. The Fiend needs that victory, and to get redemption for being set on fire. He's now this big charcoal monster.
Charcoal. I think that's the one. That's the word I was looking for. That's exactly what it looks like. Charcoal.
He's like a charred babby out of something. I once made a Halloween costume. Must have been in about 2004, and I made this mask, and it looked just like that. I've got it somewhere.
Yeah, I think you should get it back up, mate.
Yeah. Next show we're on, John, I'll have it ready for you to see.
Yeah, good.
Next wrestling show we do, I'll have the mask. Just see what you think of it, because it looks so much like that. It's unbelievable. But
I'll get you on Powered SP3. You can scare the life out of him.
That's it. The Fiend. But I think my son is the most invested in that match out of everything.
It's appealing for somebody. That's
tomorrow.
Good.
Well, that's it. The kids are loving it. So anyone who's watched any sort of horror movies and things like that, there is an interest in it, and I think it's got potential to be great and be memorable, but we'll all have to just see what they do, and it'll be exciting to see. And I just hope it isn't too, sort of cheesy and corny. If they're going to go down that horror, of being scary, make it actually scary. Like the
they're
Brood
going to do
used to be
crap
when they.
Like that.
Yeah, let's just make it like the Brood, where he came up the circle of fire and have the blood and all that sort of stuff. If you're going to do it, do it. But even the Papa Shango stuff they've been doing, it was good in '92 when he did it. I thought as a kid. So do it all again, but make it. Just try and make it fit a little bit.
Not like the Boogeyman. We don't want Boogeyman antics here with this, do we? That's for sure. Jess does.
Yes,
oh my goodness. Right. Apparently, as well, Bo Dallas has been playing the role of the Fiend as well. I don't know if you've read on that, but they've been swapping about. So I can imagine there being all sorts of things here. Jess, what do you think we're going to see tonight? Is it going to be a cinematic match, or is it?
But anytime you put that picture up, he looks like a bit of bacon.
I'll send this to you after.
He looks like bacon.
I've not really studied it as much as I am now.
Lady Gaga, when she went to the awards with all the meat on her.
But it's overcooked. It's definitely overcooked on that one.
Sorry, but I'm not going to be going onto the WWE shop, and I will not be buying that because I can go to the fridge.
No, I would have thought this would be good for you.
I'm going to this sellotape. Imagine this sellotape. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to get some bacon and stick it in my face.
Good. Well, we're expecting you to post that later. All right, we want to see that.
Before you retire from modelling, Jess, you've got to do that theme.
I could be like...
Yeah. Yes, that's it.
Bacon face.
The bacon.
Bacon face, yeah. Right,
I don't think the vegans will be too happy with that one.
The bacon bits, the bacon bits, I could cover myself and make it all arty, and be like, I'm like the Fiend's wife or something. But the match, I feel like this has been going on for a bit too long. Not gonna lie, this. Do you know what? The one bit I'm invested in is the Alexa part, because I think she has smashed it. She has done such an incredible job. She really has, and I would have rather just had a match with her and Randy Orton, I think.
We have.
No, a proper one, not like a...
Oh, God,
not a bacon one. A proper one. But I think,
is she injured? Is Alexa injured? Is that why she's doing this whole storyline? Because I
think she was, but she's not now.
I wasn't sure if she'd had a sort of a concussion injury where she wasn't able to wrestle for a long time, and that's why they've interjected her into this story to give her something still to do. I think she's played it pretty well, to be fair to her.
Honestly, absolutely brilliant. absolutely smashed it. Like I don't know. I'm kind of hoping they do it like a cinematic match. I really do, because I'm not sure I can keep watching this same match. I'm not sure if I can. Like, what about if his bacon falls off his face? What are we gonna do? Like,
Cook it.
yeah, imagine that's why. Oh my god, that's why they've got
already been cooked. John.
They're gonna stand there and like they do
I
it like
mean,
the
yeah,
kebab shop.
I don't know where they're going with this, but who have you got for the winner?
I kind of hope Randy Orton wins, only because he's eye candy.
He won last time, didn't he?
Yeah, but it could be. Is the Fiend going to completely write Randy Orton off? Is he going to? I don't know.
I think there's more logic to actually writing off the Fiend character again, because it's like you can't go on. We've just been burnt up now. But there you go.
I feel bad. Like, can you imagine? Like, oh, by the way, you know, Bray, you're making a return, but you're going to be a burnt man majority of the time. Like, I hope you're okay with that. Like, not an issue or anything, but you're not going to be there that much. You're just going to turn up, pretend to be on fire, and then come back as bacon. Ta-da! I don't know.
I think if he's getting his wages, he's going to be happy. He's going to be happy by that. If he's still getting his normal wages and he just shows up and dressed to the bacon every now and again, I'd take
that. when he first came as a Fiend at that SummerSlam, when he did that entrance, and it was the most beautiful thing, and I was scared. I was like, oh my god, I'm horrified. And now it's just like, I want that. I want that scariness, real scary, like a Kane situation. I want to be scared, and now I just think of food. So
it's making me hungry.
Well,
look, pigs in blanket. No, I think got to get off this subject. My God, I just hope they don't start heading towards the ship, and then they go in, and then it's like some crazy funhouse thing where there's pirates coming out of everywhere, and God knows what else. And I don't know. Exactly. I don't want to see any of that nonsense. I'll go.
That's a good idea.
That could be it. I'm
going to go for Bray winning on this one. I'm going to go for Bray Wyatt.
Come on. This would be sick.
Let's move on quickly.
John, just before we move on, I just say I think the idea about having the two Fiends and involving Bo Dallas was brilliant. When I first saw that and someone said it's actually Bo Dallas, I thought that is amazing. But obviously they haven't chosen to go down that route. But if it is Bo Dallas who's been playing the burnt Fiend or whatever, and they say the original Fiend's fine, you know, it was actually him in that match and he got set on fire, now he's the burnt one, and they've got both of them, then, you know, you've got a tag team of them, then something you can do, you know, that I'd buy into that. Because what's Bo Dallas doing? You know, I feel sorry for the guy. He, you know, had a great opportunity to be a wrestler, and you know, he's IRS's son. He's got to be decent. Give the lad a chance. But if there's the pair of them, you've got Bacon Face and the Classic Fiend. Then you know you've got a tag team on the go with Alexa manager rolling. You know,
standing there at the barbecue, flipping the burgers, ready. He's ready for the Fiend. He's like, "Oh, put your head on." Ooh. That's what he's doing.
Mark Lloyd.
That microwave.
Mark Lloyd saying, any chance Cena, Taker, or Brock come out? Very unlikely, Mark, I would say at this point. It's odd because John Cena was in commercials for this WrestleMania, but unless they go back into the Firefly Funhouse and pull John Cena out, maybe Randy does that later and saves him and sacrifices himself. There's that heroic moment, Titanic moment, maybe, for Randy and John Cena.
Maybe Cena and Orton are the tag team. Because remember, they came up together. Maybe if you go all the way back to that time when they could go all the way back to that fighting. Now we've got a tag match.
I wouldn't be going to work tomorrow.
Against Cena and Orton. That's huge.
Brock Lesnar, absolutely no chance. I'm sure he's in his compound as we speak, unless they've driven up there and given him a mass of money. I doubt it very much. And to be honest with you, he would not be somebody they just pull out of nowhere, because with Brock Lesnar, he always spikes that interest. So they'd have advertised Brock. It'd be a waste of time. Right, triple threat match. Here we go. Daniel Bryan inserted into this whole thing. Edge. I've got to say, I've not been massive on Edge for a while. I just haven't enjoyed him as much as I thought I would have done. Roman Reigns has definitely grown on me when he shouldn't be, because he's a bloody heel. But I knew that would happen. He becomes cool. But Daniel Bryan, I'm always a big fan of Daniel Bryan. But yes, I'll start with you, Jess. How looking forward to you are you of this one? Is it a triple threats? You know, was you happy they turned it to a triple threat and Daniel Bryan was added? Because one thing I've seen a lot of is fans suggesting Daniel Bryan has not been built in any shape, way to be in this match. Like he was losing a lot. Apparently lost Nakamura clean. He was losing to a lot of guys, and suddenly he's here. Have they done this because, much like WrestleMania 22, I think it was, when it was supposed to be Ray and Orton, Kurt Angle got shoved into the mix? Have they done this to just make sure it's going to be a better match than just Edge and Roman? Or is Daniel Bryan being there making perfect sense to you?
I'm baffled by the whole thing, in all honesty. Like, I love Daniel Bryan. I know I have a feeling he's going to win. Like, I know that's a very big statement. I've just got this feeling. I don't, as much as I want to say, like, I've enjoyed Edge being back, it's not like the fireworks for me. Like, when he was, last year, I was so excited. Now I'm like, all right, okay. Roman Reigns has absolutely just been incredible over like the past however many months since him and Paul have been a team. He has been amazing. I am very confused about this whole match. I'm not sure what's going to happen. It could potentially be an absolute banger of a match. Like, it could be incredible because all three of them, absolutely fantastic. They are stars. I would actually like Daniel Bryan to just win it, just because I think he's the kind of like the underdog in this situation. But I don't know. I want to be more excited, but
pick.
Daniel Bryan. I said Daniel Bryan.
Okay. Well, I'm just making sure because you look like you're talking yourself out of it.
I don't know what I'm doing. Don't anymore.
Mike, you made a good point, I believe, on Powered for SP3, and you said all three guys kind of share similar because they've all gone away and had like some injury or illness that has stopped them for a period of time. Although they haven't mentioned that in the storyline, which is bloody stupid because that's like such a real thing that's happened. But they on SmackDown, they really, I wasn't happy the fact that Edge and Daniel Bryan, they were just kind of coming out there like, we deserve to, and it was a little bit like I wanted them to have a bit more fire, not just be happy about being in it and what a moment it will be. I want to see proper character and willing to fight for it a bit. But I do believe it's been a little bit dampened. But what about for you, Mike? And who have you got your money on?
Yeah, I think Daniel Bryan talked his way into the match a little bit on Friday Night SmackDown.
So
I thought his pretty good. I thought him being told no all along was a great little story to go with, and now he's saying yes. He's got the crowd behind him. I was at WrestleMania 28 when Daniel Bryan lost in the opening match in 18 seconds, and for about an hour and a half of that WrestleMania, the whole crowd were just chanting Daniel Bryan. The next night on Raw, you could really say that was the start of the Yes movement because Daniel Bryan wasn't even on the show. He was on after the show. But the whole crowd chanted Daniel Bryan for the whole show. And that just showed that WWE Universe was completely behind him. And that, started leading up to, what happened, but it didn't happen until 30, did it? It was 2 years later. His journey culminated there. But all of them have gone through a lot. Daniel Bryan didn't think he'd wrestle again with concussions. He fought back from that. Edge had his neck injury. When I used to go and see WWE a lot, it was as Edge was coming through and working his way up to becoming that rated R superstar. I saw him a lot at that stage, and to see him grow as a character was great. I think a lot of people who watch and you see them comment might not have seen a lot of that time in in his career, whereas I sort of watched all of that. So I'm very appreciative of him coming back. The pop at the Royal Rumble was massive. And what he did this year's Rumble. Winning it as well was huge. I was happy enough with it being Roman Reigns and Edge. Edge being the Rumble winner and Roman Reigns being the head of the table, and how he's built this character all year, and it has become just like this amazing character, the champion. I think adding the third person just makes it more likely that Roman will lose the championship, and it gives him an excuse to come
He's
back
not going to
into
get
the picture,
covered.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't need to get covered because Daniel Bryan could be there as a fall guy to take that cover instead. I personally think Edge is going to go over, and I think that's where they'll go with it. And I think Daniel Bryan might take the fall for it, and then there's all sorts of other stuff that you can spin off into from that. But the only thing that's making me question that is the way they've sort of positioned Edge going into the match now, where he sort of came in as a face, but has sort of turned into a bit of a heel, into a bit of a sort of tweener character. It's like they've sort of had so much time to build it, they've sort of lost their way a little bit with the story. But if they get it right tonight and tell the story that they should be telling, which is that Roman Reigns has become the head of the table, he's been the main man for WWE for this year. Really, he beat Drew McIntyre at Survivor Series, didn't he? He is the top dog. He really is now. And if one of these guys can knock him off his perch, they're telling a massive story, aren't they? And I think it'd be great if it was Edge or Daniel Bryan. So we've got a main event to look forward to, I think, and they will deliver. They will deliver because they're the three of the best in the business. So yeah, look forward to it.
It looks like we're all gonna say somebody different here, because I'm saying Roman Reigns to retain, and I do believe next year they're going to go for a giant match between him and somebody else. Who that'll be, rumors of Rock or Brock, with the whole Heyman influence as well. But if they want to get there, they need to keep him at the top at the minute, keep the momentum up. I don't really see why you would at this time give it to Edge. I'm not really sure he'd need it going forward. And Daniel Bryan, my heart would love Daniel Bryan to win the title, but I don't see it happening. So I'm going to say Roman on this one. And we are at the end of our show, peeps. This is it. It's been great chatting all about WrestleMania. It seems like ages ago, even though it's not. It was only last night, and with all the weather and shenanigans, I'm hoping that we won't get that tonight, because I want it to start on time. So that's going to help us out in the UK, especially because it is a nightmare on our end of the things. Yeah, exactly. But before I go, just gives me time just to let everybody know about our shows. So later on today, 7 p.m, we've got added time. Mike Angus will be there with myself for a short time. Probably very disappointed after the game. And then
our
following
special
that,
guest is a Man United fan as well, John, by the way.
Oh, well, there you go. Who is the special guest? Because I don't even know this. I'm bloody running it. I don't even know who it is. Okay, keep it surprised.
It's the wrestler.
Yes,
it's the wrestler who's a Man United fan. So,
well, that says a lot, doesn't it, Mummy?
Kill me.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's going to be Jess.
It's me.
Fair enough. Night 2 of Games and Graps is also there from 9 p.m. And also another show. Now, these guys are going out 30 minutes after WrestleMania finishes, and that is the guys over at True Heel Heat. And they can do that because they're in New York, I'll have you know. So it's a little bit easier there, okay? But check them out as well. It'll be really good. Before I go, let's get everybody's stuff where we can find you. Jess, obviously,
hello.
Thank you very much for dropping in. It's been great to see you, giving your thoughts. I'm going to take away knowing a little bit more about Logan Paul. And
I can tell you a lot. Imagine they've put this whole massive. Oh, I feel sorry for the costume makers. Like they're like, oh yeah, we've done this great thing this
like,
week, and I'm like, you look like bacon.
Don't know the work we've put in yet. Now, where can we find you, Jess, and what have you got coming up? Because you're big on Twitch now.
Big, better use.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to work it. I'm the worst person.
Oh, flipping hell, I'm trying to put you over here.
Oh, it's fine. Everyone knows I'm terrible at it. Like, I'm the worst person at Twitch. Like, I have to call people and be like, can you help me? Because I don't know how to work it all the time. But I've been doing my Twitch 3 days a week. I'm going to go and run off and do it in a second. Back on YouTube, which has been a while, but I remain my return.
You had a video last week.
We did, a WrestleMania one. And then the next one is something completely different. So yeah, mix it up. I've tried to get back with my content because I just got a bit lazy. So, you know.
And you're going to be involved with Superstar Pro Wrestling as well when we come back. And also, what I should say is when we have shows again, the point originally when we first brought you in, Jess, of course, was for you and I to start going out and doing media like I was doing before. But of course, with the whole pandemic, we've had to put that on hold. But that'll be really good and fun to get back to. Jess, I'll let you go because I know you've got to fly. So we'll say goodbye to you now.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. No, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Night 2.
Great.
I will. And you.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. There you go. Go check out Jess now. She's going to be doing a live stream now as we speak. Mike, what have you got coming up, my friend? We know you're up later. You're on double duty today. Your Liverpool won yesterday. We got I'll give that little hint there. You should be happy, giving you as a goal down. I thought, here we go again. But your team come back, so that's something good for added time. Yeah, you can be a little bit upbeat, I guess.
A bit of positivity for once at added time, yeah. And if we've got a special guest who's a Man United fan, so there could be some great banter on that. Loads of little special
not good
bits
for me
tonight. Yeah, well, we'll see, John. We'll soon find out. So it'll be a really interesting one today. And my score predictions this week have not gone as I would have hoped, really. Obviously, the Leeds United, great result for them. That was an interesting one.
Very good.
Really good. So we've got that to cover later. And Liverpool, we did have we've still got stuff to discuss from it because that VAR decision that ruled out our goal in the
He's
first
not
half.
having it. He's not happy. Maybe they'll bring
one of the most ridiculous ones I've ever seen. That was horrific.
Maybe they'll bring VAR into wrestling. Maybe that's Vince's next thing.
For pins and stuff. Yeah, we didn't mention before one of the pins that was really funny. The Carmella and Billy Kay pin was really funny. The stuff they did with their pins was hilarious. The bits of cheating and stuff. They were really funny last night and entertaining. But I'm just looking forward to night 2. You're going to be able to find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as always at Angus Maddog on Twitter. Had a few bits of banter on there last night that was funny. Obviously, that Kev Egan was laughing about the mic thing with Seth Rollins. That was good banter. And then added time this evening is going to be great. Superstar Pro's got a date for the first show now. It's June 21st,
good,
which is a Monday, which is a little bit different. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. The card they've got on the roster for that show is absolutely brilliant. Some of the best local wrestlers and people from further afield. A lot of young up-and-coming talents. And then you've got people like Sheikh El Sham, who was our guest on Added Time last week. He's an absolutely brilliant wrestler. And the master, Dean Allmark, is signed to the roster as well. So, anytime Dino shows up, you're going to get a great match and, some great technical wrestling. So really looking forward to that. Looking forward to working with Jess and also Stu Palmer making his debut in the professional wrestling industry.
Give a shout out to Stu. I believe he's working. Is that right? This weekend?
Yeah. So, Stu's back in work this weekend. They'll be having, it'll be click and collect crazy, I'd say, for his restaurant today. So a chef by trade, Stu, what a legend. He's one of the hardest working chefs in the company, I've heard. So he'll be smashing it out today. So good on him. And looking forward to catching some of his upcoming interviews. I watched this one with Benjamin Boone just the other day. That was a great interview. Very interesting. That one worth watch if you haven't seen that. And I'm just looking forward to it. We're back with TNT Extreme Liverpool on the 26th of June and the 27th for Ignition. So there's all sorts coming up, and I just hope they can all run and everything, and the roadmap doesn't change. But we'll have to see. I've had my vaccine now, so I'm back on track. If I can get the second one of that sorted out quite soon, we'll be hopefully on our way. And I hope everyone else gets theirs sorted and gets ready to hopefully get back to a bit more normality later on in the year. And
absolutely.
Fans being at WrestleMania is the start of it, and then it'll be our turn over here in the UK. And I just can't wait for wrestling to be back over here. And I know there's a lot of the guys have been working hard. They've got stories to tell you, and they've got matches to have. And, Powered 4 will be covering it all, and that's what we would like to see. So can't wait.
Absolutely. Just from me, don't forget powered4.tv. Sign up today. Use the code SHOWCASE. It's only available until the end of tonight. So literally get it in now if you want it. I think it works at 97p. So less than £1 to get a month's worth of amazing content, 25 different promotions, all the archives, interviews and media as well. That include 1PW, TNT Extreme Wrestling, Full Force Wrestling, DNA Pro, and a whole list of others that I could go on forever. But I want to thank you, Mike, for Hair of the Dog. Do I feel better after this? I feel more excited, I'll be honest, because this is the problem, though. Getting too excited now is going to possibly play a big part in tonight, me looking at it as a downer, because last night I think really surprised me how good it was, even with the whole dramas with the thunderstorm, which, when that happened, you just thought you couldn't have got worse of luck for WWE, you have to say. I'm sure there was a lot of panic going on behind the scenes, but they did a good job. They come through. I think what helped it the most is that they waited it out. It didn't happen in between. That would have been worse, I think, because having a gap between matches, my goodness, that would have been hard to pace. So yeah, it was it come off very well in the end. So let's hope tonight the weather holds out a little bit better in Tampa for everyone there, and hope everybody enjoys the second night of WrestleMania. I'm sure it's going to be very good tonight. The pre-show starting again at midnight, so let's hope the main show starts at 1 this time. Be a little bit easier on us. Thank you as always, Mike, and we'll see everybody next time. Check us out later today, 7 p.m. if you're into football. We're going to do a wrestling crossover as well here on Powered4.tv. We'll see you then. I've been John Scott. He's been Mike Angus. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me, John.